Hello, today I'm going to install a seat suspension kit on my B200. Alright, let's see what's in here. My wife bought me this because I was complaining about hitting potholes and it was hurting my back. So, hopefully this makes a difference. A box in a box. Bolts. Parts. Sticker. And no instructions. I'm sure I can figure this out. Okay, after looking it over, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a hinge for the front and some springs for the back, an 8mm, 10mm, and a screwdriver. Pretty much all you need. Seems pretty easy. Alright, I'm going to start by taking the seat off. It's just a pair of 8mm bolts stuck way back under the seat here. There goes that washer. Okay, so apparently this part here slips underneath like this, and you just use the same bolts that you took out to put it right back in. Well, here's something that we all love to do, is destroy something that's brand new. So in order for that to fit, you have to cut these tabs off. Otherwise it won't fit flat on the seat. Alright, now that we've ruined that part, that will now fit on there. Okay, just going to use the provided screws to put in these little holes here to hold it down. Now I'm going to use a drill, not an impact driver. I don't want to over tighten them and drill the holes out. Screws are a little short for these ones in the middle, so I'm just going to skip those. I think 4 on the back and maybe 4 or 6 in the front probably be fine. We'll find out. If it flies off while I'm driving, then I'll fix it later. I guess it looks right. We'll find out. Okay, for the hinge part, they give you these little bolts, but they don't give you locking nuts. So I'm going to replace both of them with ones I had so that they don't rattle loose while I'm riding down the road. And I hear it raining really, really bad, so I don't know if I'm going to get to ride again today. Well, I was going to go for a ride again. Maybe I'll be waiting. And those ones are too short. I'll have to grab some different ones. Voila. Okay, I just did a little pre-assembly to make sure I was doing this right. And this seat is almost impossible to get on there with this already assembled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these bolts back out and I'm going to replace it with a single piece of all thread. That way I can put this bracket on and then slide this in afterwards and just have the nuts on the ends. And I suggest that for everybody. That'll make it a lot easier to put together. That way I can put this on and take it off. Put this plate on, or this bracket on, with the seat off, and then just put the seat on afterwards. That's going to be a lot easier. Okay, see how this goes on there. Put this on there. That up. There. Just going to use a couple pieces of painter's tape to mark where the front of this bracket goes. And then I can take the seat off. Okay, I pre-assembled my parts here. They're just the bracket that goes on. Pretty much this is just going to slip right up until it hits this original bracket here. So the tape is kind of pointless, but just goes right there, and then you pinch it on there. And hopefully it stays. It sure doesn't feel like it though. Alright, I put the wrong spacers on. Now it fits. There ain't much here holding this on. It's a little short. I guess that's on there. Try to tighten up the back one. The right one on there. Okay, now that I have this on here, I'm kind of questioning the stability of this because it moves quite a bit. Side to side, not forward and backwards. And it rocks really bad. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that all thread back out. I'm going to bore those holes out and put a piece of solid shaft, or like 3/8 bar or something like that in there, and tighten up the whole front end so the back can't move as much, because that's really moving. You're going to feel that when you're driving down the road. You take a corner and you slide around. That might not be very safe feeling, but I mean, people put these on their bikes and they ride them all the time, so it must be okay, but I think it can do better. Okay, the rain stopped, so I'm going to just take this thing for a ride as it is before I change anything and just see how it feels. Because if it feels okay, I'm not going to bother with it. But if it feels uncomfortably, I don't know, unstable, I'm going to definitely try to address that moving around problem. Alright, that is definitely an improvement on the butt and back. That felt way better. But what I really noticed is when you start moving around in the seat as you're driving, the whole bike wants to start doing this. And I think changing the front, adding stiffening up the front part of the hinge would definitely stiffen up the back side of the hinge, and then it wouldn't twist so much. I'm going to hit the drawing board and see if I can come up with something that's a little bit better than this system, because it works and it feels good, but that moving around is uncomfortably unstable to me. But anyway, it does work and it does feel better. That's the whole point, really. But I think that's it for right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.